Welcome to the news.
Welcome to
This
the
is Save
news.
Before Quitting news for the week of January 16th, 2025. First story, probably the biggest story of the day, probably of the week now. Switch 2 was finally announced after literally everything about it being leaked over the last month. Like, this entire console was leaked and the specs, like, everything was leaked about this thing. Yeah. And now it's here. And after, I'm sure, months or maybe years of deliberation on what to call the Switch 2, they landed on Switch 2.
Easy.
Right. Which essentially it definitely is. Like, the trailer just showed the original console and then it getting bigger, and that was essentially it. They took away the rails on the side where you put the controllers on, and now it's magnetic. They just stick onto the sides.
There is a thing you have to line up though, right? Like a
yeah, there's a little, like,
in the middle.
like a little plug in the middle.
Okay.
The dock is more curved now instead of being square. The Switch 2 logo is literally the same Switch logo with just a number 2 next to it. There's a mysterious button under the right joystick under it that people are trying to figure out what that is. And apparently it's called the C button. What that stands for, nobody knows. So we're all still the people online trying to figure out what that's going to be. What else can we give you? So this has been announced in the trailer. They showed the new Mario Kart.
Is that a new Mario Kart?
It's a brand new Mario Kart.
Oh,
that's been rumored to be the launch thing.
Okay, I just didn't know if they used footage of the current Mario Kart. I couldn't tell from
if you
what
look
they showed
closely, because people have been putting it online. The Mario model is a brand new Mario model. He looks closer to the Mario Wonder Mario. The Donkey Kong model looks closer to the movie Donkey Kong.
Okay,
like, they've updated all the models. The
Did
level
they
that
put
they're
Ninja
on, we have to wait and see.
They gotta put Ninja in. He's my dude.
The level that they're on is some new desert level. People are speculating that there might be even more racers per race now, because they're like slots like right before the starting line, and there's 24. Everybody like, is this going to be some kind of massive Mario Kart? Like, because just like Smash Brothers, people have been trying to figure out, like, how can they bring these things back? And they already had these ultimate versions that literally had everything. So if they're changing all the models, maybe there's more racers, maybe it's more open, maybe there's different paths. I think they pretty much just revamped it, and now there's going to just be like new ways to Mario Kart, so to speak. A bigger, more expansive Mario Kart. And if that's the case, that's pretty interesting. I'll be interested to see what they do there. What else we got? They also announced a direct, which will be April 2nd, 2025. To find out more about the Switch 2, and I'm sure the software, whatever games that they're going to announce. They also went out of their way to say that the Nintendo Switch 2 can play Nintendo Switch 2 and Nintendo Switch games, but there are certain games that will not work on, obviously, the original Switch, because they're going to have exclusive games to 2. But there are also some games that were for the original Switch that won't work on Switch 2. I'm not sure what those would be. I want to go ahead and assume it's for, like, some of the motion stuff. Some remember that Nintendo Labo thing, like little outsider things like that. I feel like probably won't.
Yeah, Labo probably won't make sense just because the Joy-Cons won't fit in the cardboard. Right. So
special cases like that, because there's an asterisk next to that, so I'm sure that's what it's referring to.
Wonder what else.
The specs leaked. They're also saying the Nintendo Switch 2 leaks show a massive power boost, 12 times stronger than the original Nintendo Switch, Nintendo Switch in handheld mode and nearly on par with the PS4 Pro when docked. Plus, with DLSS, it could look even better than expected. So they clearly ramped it up for this Switch, obviously, as they should. If you're going to make a sequel system, it can't just be like a Switch Pro at that point. You got to take it all the way. Last thing they announced, they're going to be the Nintendo Switch 2 experience. And there are tour dates for that where people will be able to come and have get handheld with the system, hands-on with the system, I should say. The North American tour starts, let's see, April 4th.
Yeah.
And 4th to the 6th in New York. April 4th to the 6th. Los Angeles is April 11th to the 13th. Dallas is April 25th to the 27th. Toronto is April 25th to the 27th. There will also be tour dates in Europe and tour dates in Asia and tour dates in, what is that?
Australia. Melbourne.
Yep.
Melbourne.
So, a lot to look forward to for the Nintendo people out there.
Is this a day one purchase for you?
Yes, because I have a problem.
Yeah. How many?
How many Switches?
How many Switch 2s?
One.
Just one? Okay, I'm just checking.
No,
you have two adult gamers in the house and one child gamer. I'm not saying that the child gamer needs a Switch 2. I'm just curious. I was just curious.
I'm sure he'll want one.
Oh yeah, for sure.
He ain't gonna get one immediately.
Yeah. That will exclusively be played in docked mode for threatened.
Right. But I'll have it. So anything they want to play, they can play it on mine. I share.
Yeah. True.
But yeah, man. The rumor was going into this that it was going to be dropped today, the trailer.
Yeah.
And it was. And it got real close to the time and people thought it was bullshit. Because like when the original Switch the trailer was about to drop, the night before, they were like, hey, look, Nintendo put something out like, look, we'll look forward to a direct tomorrow about future hardware plans for Nintendo. And then the next day it was Nintendo Switch. Nintendo's been really ballsy with their promotion because this just dropped. Like if you weren't, like we're deep in the dirt, like with the gaming shit. Like we're in tune with the leakers and
it's called
the internet
X now.
combo.
Fucking gross.
Yeah, right.
The worst place to be.
But like we're in that culture, so we hear the rumblings. We know. But if I was just like a casual gamer or a kid, and I just woke up this morning, and then like boom, Switch 2. I'm like, the fuck? Like what?
Be crazy.
I know some of these like video game companies have to hate the leakers online because it's like, yo, this would have been such a crazy drop out of nowhere if no one already had like the heads up.
I mean, it was bound to happen just because that's the world we live in nowadays. Nothing can be a surprise anymore, really, sadly. But I'm excited for it. I don't think it's going to be a day one purchase for myself just because I feel like just a new Mario Kart's not enough to get me over there unless they announce like some fire shit off launch. Like if it's like, hey, there's also going to be, if you have Mario Party Jamboree already, you get an up-resed version of the like a Nintendo Switch 2 version of the game where it's higher definition or something or some other bullshit, you know, or another game entirely. Like I don't know, like a new Luigi's Mansion or something. Luigi's really popular right now for some reason. But it would be cool to get a new Luigi's Mansion, and if that were to happen, then I'd be a day one purchase. If that's like with the game coming out, I don't know. If it's more than just Mario Kart,
I got you. Trust me, I'm like we always say, I'm the Nintendo guy on this podcast, so like I'm always gonna be there for Nintendo day one.
Oh hell yeah.
I'm sorry. But that's a Switch 2. Looking forward to see what else is gonna come about with it.
Next up in the news.
Hold that thought. I think my food is here. Hold on. You can move though.
Imagine if I actually stayed that long though. That'd be crazy.